Yeah, so a few weeks ago I had sent in an application video um, to the Gracie Academy to ask that my little training facility down here in the basement be given the status of a Gracie Garage, which basically just means that it's not a certified training center, and I'm not a certified instructor or anything like that, but they have a lot of people all over the world that might want to practice or train in Gracie Jiu-Jitsu that don't have a place to train. Certainly, like here in Lethbridge, there's not a Gracie training center, and so if they allow people to host what they call a Gracie Garage, then helps those people to find, helps those hosts to find new training partners, and it also, of course, helps make the Gracie curriculum more widely available to people that want to train in it. And so for me, of course, I'm interested in finding some more training partners and such, and so I put in the application. The application, there's a little bit of paper application that covers about the same stuff that's on the video. You got to submit a video, and the video has to show your place from the outside, from on the street, in a 360-degree view on the street. You have to say a little bit about yourself, about your purpose for wanting to host the Gracie Garage, your experience with the martial arts, and the kind of training partners you're looking for. And then you show a 360-degree view of the outside, and without cutting away, you walk into the training facility and you show 360 degrees in the training facility, and you have to show that you have a poster of Helio Gracie at the site, and yeah, that's about it. Oh, you have to have at least 100 square foot mat space, right? So, I've got all that stuff, and in my reasons. So I submitted a video, and yesterday I got word that my facility here is approved to be a Gracie Garage, and I looked online at Gracie University online and under the schools and students tabs, and sure enough, my West River Gracie Garage is listed in there, and I thought it was interesting in the email that I got. It mentioned that, and I guess this is really more specifically for people that already have martial arts schools. Like if you already have a commercial martial arts establishment and you want to utilize your establishment as a Gracie Garage, then there's a requirement that within the first year of being a Gracie Garage, you will have mastered the Gracie Combatives curriculum, which is the Blue Belt curriculum, and passed that test for the Blue Belt, and thereby qualifying for certified instructor training, which takes place partly online and partly in California in Torrance. And basically, what they say is, if you already got your own school and you want your school to also have Gracie Garage status, then you have to agree to proceed through the curriculum in a way so that you will be pursuing the instructor certification so that you can offer different Gracie programs at your school. You can offer the combatives, the level 1 combatives, or you might offer the bully-proof for kids, or the women's self-defense, or if you continue further, you might get level 2 instructor certification and be able to train for purple belts, level 3 for brown belts, level 4 for black belts, etc. But anyway, it's kind of like they say, well, if you're gonna do this, have this garage, you got 12 months to get through the combatives training and be lining yourself up to do the instructor certification program, or we're going to rescind the Gracie Garage status. Now, it doesn't sound like they would rescind the Gracie Garage status for situations like my own, where it's just in my basement facility and it's not a commercial establishment. However, when I first read it, that's kind of how I took it, was, oh, okay, now this means that I have really 12 months to do what needs to be done to get myself lined up for instructor certification. And I don't know that that's the case, but thinking about it, I actually like the idea. I mean, I don't really care for rank and that kind of thing. I don't really have any interest in it, and for me it's a turnoff when something like this occurs, where suddenly it's all about the pursuit of the rank. I don't care about the rank, but on the other hand, getting certified to offer Gracie courses is just potentially beneficial, well, definitely beneficial, both on the economic level and on the level of recruiting, finding more training partners and such. And just as a potential, like, I've been thinking about it for a while. I've actually been talking to my friend Morris about it too, but maybe him and I going in together on kind of establishing a martial arts club with our focus on the reimagination of a Blackfoot indigenous martial arts. But part of that would include grappling, of course, because our understanding is that wrestling is a big part of Blackfoot martial arts in the past. So having like even just the level 1 certification would be very beneficial, I think, in the long run, to being able to make part of a living off of doing martial arts, as well as finding more interested people to train with. So I like the idea, and I think I'm going to go ahead and go through with it and pursue that. And so, after learning that I have a Gracie Garage here now, I went online yesterday evening on Facebook, and there's a Facebook page, a Facebook group called the Lethbridge Martial Connection, which is to help get people together who have an interest in martial arts. Not a big group. I think there's only 40-something members right now, or 50 members, something around that number. But I'm a member of that Facebook group, so I thought I would go ahead and put it out there that now in Lethbridge there is this Gracie Garage here in my training facility, and that I'm looking at doing the instructor certification down the road, but then I basically have a year in which to get through the combatives curriculum and be able to demonstrate mastery of it. And if there's anybody out there who wants to specifically train the combatives with me. So I just put it out there, and I put a copy of my intro video that I had sent to the Gracies and all that. And right away I noticed, like maybe 30 minutes later or something, that somebody had shared my video. One of the members of the group had shared it. And so I clicked on the share, and it brought me to see what he had said. And he basically said, you know, as a fighter, I can't remember exactly what it said, and I can't even look at it anymore because I'm either blocked from looking at his stuff or he's taken it down. But he basically said, you know, as a fighter, he might have some issues with this, and how can you actually have a quote-unquote Gracie garage? How can anybody, just anybody, have a quote-unquote Gracie garage? And you know, it's a good question, it's a good critique, and not one that's unfamiliar with the naming of martial arts facilities and that kind of thing. You know, in this instance, of course, I'm just following the program, and the program says you can apply to have a Costa Gracie garage, and just anybody who puts together the training facilities can do that. And it's because they're looking to develop greater accessibility for people to find training partners, and for there to be facilities to train at all around the world. So they don't care if you are, you know, really a member of their family, and they don't care if you are a person with a big martial arts background. You can be brand new, brand new, and open up a Gracie garage because it helps bring people together who are interested in training. That's the point. But you know, I can see this guy's critique or whatever. I mean, it's a little bit weird because it's not his business, it's the Gracie's business. But in any case, you know, he was being critical about it. And then one of his friends wrote on there that, you know, something to the effect of, yeah, it doesn't look like, you know, this guy has much skills when you look at some of his other videos and stuff. I bet, you know, I could, you know, if I rolled with him, then basically he's saying if I rolled with him, I could beat him up. And that's also not an unfamiliar thing to hear in the martial arts discourse, is these kind of who can beat up who kind of a thing. You know, of course, the misunderstanding is that they don't seem to get the fact that somebody who opens a Gracie garage is usually going to be somebody that, unless you're opening it at an already established commercial martial arts school, but if you're just a guy in his garage who wants to attract training partners, chances are you're working on light white belt level Gracie curriculum, which is the case here, and that's what it's for. That's what the Gracie garage is for. It's for people to attract training partners and create a little, you know, environment for training, even when there's not a commercial training hall available. So I don't know what they don't get about that point, but outside of not getting it in that respect, you know, I just, you know, it's that kind of thing. Once in a while you get hit with somebody's ego problem, and it kind of brings you down a little bit. You know, I was all excited about Gracie Garage thing, and then to have somebody make some shitty comments and stuff, just because they're, you know, they got their own ego problems or whatever, they got jealousies, or even if they have real issues, you know, why attack somebody that verbally or what have you, calling them down. You know, I'll be the first guy to admit that I got shit for jiu-jitsu skills. That's why I'm doing this, because I recognize, and even in my video I say that, you know, I recognize this is a big gap, and that pretty much all my life, my training in traditional martial arts, you know, hasn't been training me for any kind of real combat proficiency, and especially when it comes to the ground grappling stuff. And so it's a huge gap that I need to, that I feel like I need to attend to. And why would you put somebody down for that? It's just stupid. The only reason to do that is if you've got an insecure ego, which clearly, you know, these guys got. Probably what leads them to be fighters in the first place. And yeah, it just left a bad taste in my mouth, and it's not an unfamiliar thing, and it's unfortunate that the younger guys who are involved in fighting, that this is their mentality. You know, if claiming to be martial artists, I would think, rather than feeding this kind of mentality, that we should be like rewarding more intelligent perspectives. And the whole reason of having, you know, both the Gracie Garage and the Lethbridge Martial Connection is to put people who are interested in martial arts to develop it's a tool to help them develop connections with training partners and people of mutual interest and all that stuff. So I don't know. The guys are just dicks, and I guess that's the way it is. They're not the majority.